Hi, and welcome back. I am Wendiam, and today we'll continue with the book, The Leadership Challenge. In the previous presentation, we talked about vision and vision the future, how to create visions for individuals and for an organization. Today, the second chapter is Enlist Others. And this chapter is about making a vision stronger within an organization and also speaking to the world about your vision, how you can inspire people. So if you remember at the beginning of the talks, we said that constituents look for leaders who are inspiring. So today we will learn how to be inspiring. The first point today, appeal to common ideas. And I'm going to repeat myself a little bit. It is like what we talked about in the previous presentation. We said that a vision within an organization should not be only about one person. It should be about the whole group, what everybody wants. So today the book teaches us to connect to what is meaningful to people. Align your dream with people's dream. So you don't want to go out there and talk to people, want people to follow you if it is not something that benefits them as well. And as an example, the book provided one of the most famous speeches of all times, I Have a Dream, by Martin Luther King. And when we analyze this speech, we realize that when Dr. Luther was talking, he was talking about not only his own hopes, but the hopes of the whole Black community. And he even went beyond the Black community to talk about all races, all religions, and what would benefit everybody. His speech was hopeful, positive, and inclusive. So that's what we need to remember. Inclusive is not only about us. The vision is for the greater good. It is something much bigger than ourselves. And for that, I would like to take an example that I'm a little familiar with, being from Africa. So I know that a lot of people from developed countries are really interested in helping poor communities. But sometimes they are so passionate about it that they don't pay enough attention to what the communities want for themselves. Sometimes what we need to do is to get out there and really see what people want before we can put a plan together. So this is why it is so important that your dream is aligned with people's dream. So you don't get into the middle of something and realize that, oh, what you're doing is actually producing the opposite result. Align your dream with people's dream. And it also makes your organization stronger. Everybody within the group knows that their voice matters. The second point, the second step to make your vision stronger is about uniqueness. So science tells us that as individuals, we are unique. No one has our fingerprints. So it's only one version of me. You will never see someone exactly like me. So the same thing for individuals applies to organizations. It is very empowering to think that you are really unique. What you do is you are the only person able to do what you do. So emphasizing on uniqueness gives people a sense of pride and a stronger self-esteem to work for a vision. When a team or an organization feels the importance of their own work, feels unique, that's what makes them bright and brilliant. And we want brilliant people in brilliant organizations to achieve brilliant visions. Uniqueness is something to always think about. there is only one leading change of Africa. Maybe some other organizations are trying to do the same, but we have unique people and we have a unique personality. That's what makes us more attractive, because we are us. Yeah. And speaking about uniqueness, it is important to notice that today it is becoming harder and harder to be unique. I'm thinking about the technological advancement. So when you are working in technology, for example, it is much harder because when you look everywhere around you, it seems like everybody has bright ideas. And you never know if you are going to be able to find something that no one has ever thought of. So being unique is much harder today. But in the next chapter, we'll talk about how we can be more innovative. So we'll learn all of that together. Okay, so now we are done talking about empowering, making your vision more powerful within your organization. Now let's move on to my favorite part of the talk, how to tell your vision to the world, how you can inspire the greater public. So before I begin with that, I would like to say we don't need to wait to be on stage to learn how to be inspiring. Like I said at the beginning, you don't need to have 1,000 people behind you before you can learn how to be great. You learn how to be great right now when you are alone, and then when you have more people, it's easier because you are already in the process. So the second point today is animate the vision. When you have a vision, it's only in your head, and you need to make people see it. You need to make people feel that it is something worth putting their time and effort in. So you need to give life to your vision. Giving life to your vision does not depend on who you are or where you come from. Martin Luther King has done it, and he was black. Mother Teresa has done it, and she was Indian. Eleanor Roosevelt has done it, and she was white. So we see that it's not about your race, it's not about your gender, it's not about your social status. It is about how you learn, how you train yourself and you practice to really become good at it. I don't think that anyone is born with the power to inspire masses. It is something that we learn how to do. Breathing life into your vision takes courage. Why? Because it requires you to share your emotions. As we said, your vision is what you want to accomplish in your life. It is something really great. It is about your deep desire. And here we are trying to share it with the world, which means that you need to reveal yourself to the world. And for many of us, it is something that is scary because we are always thinking, oh, what will they think of me? How are they going to judge me? But if you don't get out there and say it, no one will know that you have a vision. The saddest truth about life is that cemeteries are full of visions that people never dared to achieve. And we don't want to die with our visions inside of us. We want the world to see it before we die. So I have a confession to make. On my first trial with these videos, I was freaking out. I was so nervous, like, oh my God, they're gonna hate it. But you know, I remembered these presentations are not only about me. Sometimes that's what we forget. Your vision, it's true that you created the vision, but it's not only about you. There are people that are going to benefit from whatever you say. And if you hold yourself from saying it, you are actually preventing someone somewhere from hearing it. What I am saying here may not matter to a lot of people, but I hold the belief that someone somewhere will see it and think for themselves, oh, if this girl can do it, I can do it as well. So this is why we need to always speak up and talk about our emotions. It requires us to be courageous and accept to be vulnerable. We need to do it because there's no one else who can do it like we do it. And I'm going to quote Lisa Nichols here. So for all of you who don't know, Lisa Nichols is one of my heroes. And she is the CEO of Motivating Masses. So she said, you need to talk about your story, your vision, because no one can do you quite like you. No one can do Wendiam like Wendiam. No one can do Adama like Adama. So you need to really own your stories with all the imperfections in it. When you are scared to share your vision, it is because you think that people will see your mistakes and judge you. But we are actually looking for these mistakes. It is when you share your mistakes, when you share your flaws, that people can see that, oh, you don't need to be perfect before you can get there and talk to the world. You get there and you improve during the process. So if you are here thinking that you are not good enough, you are no one to tell someone what you think, I would like to tell you, you are perfect the way you are. You are perfect in your imperfection. And I am borrowing these words from my hero, Lisa Nichols. You are 175% perfect. God created us in our imperfections, and with our courage and our willingness to show up with our flaws, we can impact people. And that's what is inspiring people. Inspiring people is showing them that, you know, you don't need to be Martin Luther King before you can pick up a mic and tell everybody what you think they should do. You don't need to be the president of your country before you can try to be the best version of yourself. Leadership starts when you are alone and when you practice all of this, your confidence. So when you get out there, you tell people who you are. And always know that not everybody is going to accept you, and that's perfectly normal. Everybody was not made to work with you. When you have a vision, there are people who will help you, there are people who will try to stop you. But if you focus on those who are trying to stop you, and you forget the essential part, those that you are supposed to inspire, then you are missing the point. It's not about what you will lose, it's about what you will gain. Fear will probably always be with you. Even Michelle Obama is afraid sometimes, she has doubts sometimes. And she was the First Lady of the United States. What does this tell us? There is no point in life when you become perfect. But you just have to really keep working no matter the fear. You leap with the fear in one hand and with your passion in the other hand. Lisa Nichols. The second point in inspiring people is using symbolic language. So when you are talking to people, you can tell something to someone or you can show something, and there's a difference. So that's about the images you use in your speech. So let me take an example. Lisa Nichols again. So you can say like, I was angry, or you can say, I felt the hair in the back of my neck rise. I felt like my heart was going to pop and I was going to say something that I would regret forever. That's the difference between telling something and showing something. And it is something that we can all improve. You know, sometimes most of us don't talk like that normally, but when you get to that level where everything you say has an additional meaning and it has something emotional in it, then you really inspire people. If there is no emotions added to your speech, people will forget it. If nothing special If nothing special happens in this day, you will forget it. Just like a speech without life. You don't want to be talking like a robot. You want people to see your emotions. You want to give your heart to the world, because there is a light inside each one of us. And when you let your light shine, it is going to reach someone. Even if it's one person, you would have accomplished something in your life. And it doesn't take more than that, just the courage to show up and speak your truth. The next point is creating images again, but for the future. So you had a vision, there is something that you want to accomplish. But for people to really understand it, you need to paint it for them. And of course, we'll be like, oh, but I don't have the skill to do it. So there's an exercise that will show you that you actually have the skill to make people see what you have seen, but they have not seen yet. It's your job to transmit the image and the vision to them. So think about one of your favorite vacations you took before and how you would tell it to your friends. Think about the excitement you have about this vacation. Your friends know nothing about it, but the way you say it, you will talk about how you were feeling, what you saw, and the beauty that you saw. And maybe you'll show them pictures, and that is what makes them see what they did not see before. It is the same thing for your vision. What did Martin Luther King say? I have a dream that one day little black girls and little white girls will be holding hands together. And right away when he says that, you can see the picture in your mind. And that's what life for a vision is. Make it more real. It's not only something on paper, but it is something that can actually be achieved. When people are able to see it, then it can be realized. So the next point is about positive communication. Positive communication starts with positive thinking first. So you cannot speak about hope if you don't have hope in yourself, if you don't think hope. If your thoughts are always about desperation, then your talking cannot be about hope. So for us, I will recommend watching the movie The Secret if you don't know it already. So watch it and just see how positive thinking actually changes our lives on a daily basis. Why do we need positive communication? We need positive communication because we cannot afford negative communication. When you are always in the negative, it does double the damage. But when it is something positive, people remember it, but they will focus more on the negatives. Research has shown that our brain focuses on the negative because that's how our ancestors survived. They needed to know the danger coming. So if we are always drawn to the negative, if we always talk negatively to your children or your students or your employees, it is what they will remember. Even if you have something that you are not happy about, always back it up with something that is good. That is good in everything. Do not focus on the negativity of life only. See what is positive. And the last point today, which is basically the key to everything, is honesty. Speak genuinely. I cannot emphasize that enough. If you don't feel it, you probably shouldn't do it. There is no one more believable than someone with a deep passion for something. When you truly believe what you are saying, people can notice. When you memorize something and you deliver it, it is very different from when you actually live it and you share it. It's just a huge difference, and that's what we need. Constituents also look for people who are honest. So be honest, but with yourself first. Because if you're honest with yourself, then you will have the courage to be honest with people. So to sum up what we talked about today, the first point was making a vision more powerful within an organization by aligning your dream to people's dream so that it's not only about you. It's a group, and you should not be like a dictator. You want everybody to have a say in what the organization is doing. The second point is about uniqueness. Just being able to embrace the fact that no one can do you like you. Being you is already a privilege. So just being able to accept that and living to the full of your capacities. The second point was about how you talk to the world about your vision. Animate the vision. Do not let it die. You don't want to be buried with your calling inside you. You want the world to see it before you check out. So animate the vision by taking the risk. Be willing to share who you are. And if you're not comfortable with that, just start little by little in conversations. You don't need to be on stage before you learn how to do that. Learn it when you are with a group of friends. Practice being the best version of yourself. And then use symbolic language. Don't only tell something, show it, because it is much more powerful. Next point, positive communication, which obviously starts with positive thinking, because your thoughts become your action. If you don't think positive, you cannot talk in a positive way. And the last point, which is the most important in your leadership journey, be genuine with yourself. Thank you for listening. And so this is the end of practice 2, Envision the Future. So I hope you learned how to create vision and how you can bring more energy to your vision. And I would like to add that if you are not at this point yet in your leadership journey, it is fine. People move at a different pace. Maybe you are still trying to figure out your values, and that's okay. But when you are done with that, when you discover who you are and when you discover your vision, then you can go through the steps with us. You always have the videos to go back to and learn and go through the process. And remember, always be honest with yourself. Dance to the rhythm of your soul. Thank you.